The beginning was an ethereal dance, a symphony of shared laughter and whispered secrets, a bond so intricately woven it felt predestined. I can still recall the warmth of his hand in mine that first evening, a gentle pressure that promised forever, a future painted in vibrant hues of hope and unwavering devotion. We built a universe together, brick by painstaking brick, a sanctuary of mutual trust and understanding. Our small apartment was not merely walls and a roof. It was a living, breathing testament to our love, a haven where every creak of the floorboards held a memory. Every shadow danced with a shared dream. He was my anchor, my lighthouse in stormy seas, my unwavering star in the darkest night. My belief in him was absolute, a fortress, impervious to doubt, a complete surrender of my heart and soul to his keeping. I never once questioned his fidelity, his commitment, his profound love for me. It was simply an undeniable truth, as real as the air I breathed or the beating of my own heart. Then a subtle shift began, almost imperceptible, like the changing of seasons. A slow and quiet erosion of the familiar landscape. Late nights at work multiplied, business trips extended without explanation, phone calls became hushed, their brevity a stark contrast to our previously endless conversations. His gaze, once a warm embrace, now held a distant quality, a preoccupation I could not decipher. I told myself it was stress. The relentless pressures of his demanding career. The usual ebb and flow of any long-term partnership. I rationalized. I intellectualized. I tried to push away the creeping tendrils of unease that began to coil within my stomach. A cold, unsettling knot, a silent harbinger of impending sorrow. I dismissed my growing anxiety as mere paranoia, a manifestation of my own insecurities. But the feeling persisted, a persistent hum beneath the surface of our carefully constructed reality. Every time his phone buzzed, he would snatch it away, with an almost furtive urgency, shielding the screen from my unwitting eyes, a gesture that spoke volumes even without a single word. One particular evening stands etched in my memory, with a painful clarity. I was in the kitchen preparing dinner, the comforting aroma of herbs and spices filling the air, a domestic tableau of assumed happiness. He was in the living room, his attention fixated on his phone, as was increasingly common. A sudden sharp gasp, a choked sound of distress jolted me. I rushed in, my heart pounding with immediate concern, believing something genuinely catastrophic had occurred. He quickly thrust the phone under a cushion, his eyes wide with a raw, primal fear I had never witnessed before. He stammered something about a funny video, a ridiculous excuse that felt paper-thin even to my hopeful ears. But his hands trembled visibly, and his face was drained of all color, a ghostly pallor that sent shivers down my spine. My own heart began to hammer an erratic drumbeat of unfamiliar dread, a premonition of darkness gathering on the horizon. Weeks bled into an agonizing eternity. The truth, as it inevitably does, found its way to me, a cruel and undeniable force. A mutual friend called her voice heavy with sorrow, hesitant, apologetic. Her words, a bitter poison that seeped into my very bones. She had seen him with someone else, in a small cafe on the other side of town. Their hands intertwined, their laughter light and carefree. A laughter that I had once believed was exclusively mine, a joy that was meant only for us. My world fractured instantly, shattering into a million irretrievable pieces. My breath hitched, caught in my throat, refusing to be released. The phone slipped from my suddenly numb fingers, crashing to the floor. its broken screen a stark reflection of my own splintered soul. A physical ache erupted in my chest, a sharp, agonizing twist that left me gasping for air, desperate for a release that would not come. My mind raced, a terrifying kaleidoscope of every late night, every hushed phone call, every distant look, every whispered lie, every moment of blissful ignorance now tainted with the corrosive acid of betrayal. I confronted him later that night. The air in our apartment felt thick, heavy, suffocating with unspoken truths. He denied it at first, a desperate, pathetic scramble for self-preservation, a frantic attempt to cling to the crumbling remnants of his deception. Then the dam broke, and a torrent of raw confessions spilled forth, a chaotic jumble of regret and fabricated justifications. He said he was confused. He mumbled about external pressures. He stammered that he was sorry. He insisted it meant nothing. He claimed he still loved me. His words were hollow, empty echoes, devoid of genuine remorse, resonating only with the metallic tang of deceit. Each syllable felt like a physical blow, further pulverizing my already shattered spirit. I looked at him. This man I had so completely adored, this man to whom I had entrusted my entire vulnerable heart, and saw not the person I knew, but a stranger, a betrayer, a hollow shell of the man I had once believed him to be, a person utterly unrecognizable through the lens of his infidelity. The silence that followed his confession was an oppressive weight, heavier than any sound I had ever known. My universe had imploded around me, every shared memory, every meticulously crafted future plan, every whispered dream, now irreversibly stained with the bitter, corrosive taste of his deceit. How could I have been so blind, so foolish, so utterly naive? How could he have inflicted such profound damage upon us, upon me, upon everything we had built? I wanted to scream, to rage, to unleash a torrent of pain and anger. But all I could manage was to stare at him, tears silently cascading down my face, blurring his image until he was merely a painful, indistinct outline, a ghost haunting my present. The days that followed dissolved into a shapeless blur of raw grief and bewildering confusion. I moved through my own home like a phantom, a stranger in a familiar land. Every corner held a poignant memory. Every object, silent reminder of the beautiful tapestry we had once woven, a tapestry now savagely ripped apart by his destructive actions. The laughter that once filled these rooms felt like a distant mocking echo, a cruel phantom limb ache of what was lost. The joy that had been our constant companion was now replaced by a pervasive, agonizing emptiness, an unyielding sorrow that clung to me like a shroud. I desperately tried to understand, to rationalize, to impose some logical structure upon the senseless wreckage. But there was none, only an abyss of pain, only the searing wound of betrayal, only a gaping, desolate void where my unwavering trust had once resided. I have learned that healing is not a linear progression. It is a chaotic, unpredictable journey that unfolds in agonizing waves. Moments of fleeting clarity are cruelly interspersed with debilitating bouts of sorrow, a relentless cycle of hope and despair. I packed a single bag, the destination unknown, the path uncertain, only the overwhelming imperative to escape the suffocating presence of his betrayal, the haunting ghosts of our shared past. I left a note, simple, stark, and devoid of embellishment, a testament to the irreparable damage inflicted upon the very core of my being. There was no elaborate explanation, no grand melodramatic farewell, just a raw statement of brokenness, a declaration of irreversible fracture. Now I exist here alone, in this vast emptiness, attempting to painstakingly reassemble the shattered fragments of who I am without him, without the comforting illusion of us. The profound love I once cherished is now a gaping wound, a raw, painful scar that will forever mark the landscape of my heart. I still awaken some nights in the eerie silence, reaching out instinctively for his familiar warmth, only to find an empty space beside me, a chilling reminder of his absence. The memories flash before my eyes, an exquisite tapestry, savagely torn to shreds by one devastating act of betrayal. Will I ever truly trust again? Will I ever summon the courage to open my heart so completely, so vulnerably to another human being? The very thought simultaneously terrifies and strangely invigorates me. The journey ahead is undeniably long and fraught with uncertainty. But one truth remains unequivocally clear. I can never return to the beautiful but ultimately fragile illusion of what we once were. The person I existed as before this profound betrayal no longer draws breath. I am a new entity now scarred, yes, indelibly marked, but perhaps also irrevocably stronger, perhaps immeasurably wiser. I carry the immense weight of what transpired, but I vehemently refuse to permit it to define the entirety of my unfolding future. I am slowly learning to breathe again, to truly live again, to meticulously forge a new path, one that is unequivocally mine alone, a path mercifully free from the suffocating shadows of his cruel deceit. It is an arduous and demanding road, but I am walking it one painful, deliberate step at a time, holding on to a fragile hope that one day the sun will once again shine with unburdened brilliance upon my heart, without the constant, relentless reminder of what was tragically lost, what was irrevocably broken, what was ruthlessly stolen from me and from us, our exquisite but ultimately delicate dream, a dream that dissolved into a chilling nightmare, a cruel twist of fate, or perhaps simply a cruel twist of his own wayward heart, a heart that strayed from our shared sacred path, a path that was always meant for two, a path that now I must navigate in solitary silence. But perhaps therein lies the true essence of resilience, in finding my own steadfast way forward, even when the terrain is cloaked in impenetrable darkness, and the destination remains tantalizingly elusive. But the journey itself becomes the destination, a journey of self-discovery and rediscovery of an inner strength. I never knew I possessed a strength forged in the crucible of pain, a strength that propels me onward towards a horizon of new possibilities, a future untainted by past betrayals, a future where my heart can finally beat with an authentic rhythm of peace and self-acceptance, a rhythm that resonates deeply within my soul, a melody of liberation and enduring hope, a testament to the human spirit's remarkable capacity for renewal even after profound devastation, a silent vow to myself that I will rise again, stronger than ever before, a phoenix from the ashes of a broken love story, now a journey of profound personal transformation and unwavering self-reliance, a chapter closed, but a whole new book waiting to be written by my own hand, with my own words, a story of resilience and courage, a narrative of finding light in the darkest of places, a journey that is truly my own unique and precious odyssey of the heart and soul.